Hello again, this is Grindolch, and we're trying to cover Hunter setup today. Let's see. Gotta take care of the pet there quick. Alright. So, oh yeah, they just run right in front of me, thank you. So, the usual starting point, we always talk about the action bar. I have the usual action bar set up here with the 5, the main, the shift, the control, the alt, and the control shift, with paging. Let me pull up Dominos so you can see that. Just the usual. Being a hunter, there's no stances to really worry about. So there's action bar 9 has nothing on it. I don't actually know why 10's set up at all. That's a mystery to me. I'll have to clear that out. Anyway, so the only thing that really happens in here is the paging for bars 8 to these pagings here. There's no stances for a hunter, so this is kind of irrelevant. Most of these items got pulled out or somewhere else now anyway, so I think I used to have this. Oh, that's right. This is old. This was my old pet bar. I used an extra action bar as a pet bar. Okay. At any rate, that's not there anymore. There's the pet bar. So we'll go ahead and go back into this. So we've got our main bar. Main bar's got all our shot abilities, our melee abilities, targeting and auto shooting, rapid fire. Shift is secondary combat abilities, so in this case traps, Hunter's Mark, Flare, Feign Death. Gotta have that out there, and you'll notice it's on the drop dead, the lower thumb button, B15 position. So that's your, oh god, fall down dead button. Over here we have our aspects and pet management abilities, which are the aspects here. That should actually be someplace else, but it's there for now. Shadow Meld, similar position as Feign Death. And pet abilities. This is actually an OPie macro, and I'll cover that in a minute. Consumables, got my ammo on here so I know how many shots I have left. Mana potions, health, etc. And pet, healing your... There we go, put that down there. My trinkets, macros again, I've shown that before, but I'll cover it real quick later on. And then control shift over here with more OPie rings to pop up, and I'll go through those in a bit as well. Alright, let's see some basic things. We're using Dominos for action bars, obviously. I have switched over to use a Forte Exorcist. I'm trying that out versus Quartz. I'm liking it. It's got lots of bells and whistles and it's fancy. Let's see, X Pearl for my targeting. So let's see, there's my target set up, and focus. My focus is target. I'll have to figure out where that went to. Obviously using this is DHUD 3 for health bars on the screen so I can see things, and I've got power auras running to show me what aura I have on and other buffs and debuffs, and I'll go through those later on. Alright, so that's the real obvious stuff. Let's see, I'm using Pratt for my chat bar because chatter's not working properly right now. Sexy map, alpha map, here I'm darn asses we, chat bar, recount, which also patches into threat meter, omen, so I can see threat in there when I'm in combat. Those are pretty much the big obvious ones. So let's actually get stuck in. Okay, key bindings, these usual main, shift, control, alt, control, shift, the pet ones. Now I'm using, let's do Dominos here, for bind keys. character-specific key bindings, and the reason for this is because of the pet bindings. So everything else is default, but I need bindings for the pets, and that's to get away from interfering with like stance bars for the warrior, that kind of thing. Druid bar. Anyway, so in this particular case, I have control up arrow for attack on the pet, control back arrow or down for passive, and we're going to set control, I don't know, right, doesn't really matter, just pick a value, to put him back into defensive, and I'm going to go control left for prowl on this particular character. Now these are, of course, dependent on the pet, so if I brought out like my bear, abilities are going to switch out a little bit, but so this is locked to the position and not to the ability, so I have to change those out. I'll have to take a look. I find it kind of annoying that on the pet bar you have to have these 5 on there. Really kind of like, I don't really ever use follow or stay. I'm never going to set him on aggressive. I don't run with him aggressive. It's either defensive or this. So that's 3 buttons on here that I'd really prefer to have room for other things, but what are you going to do? Right. OPie rings. Let me get into that. OPie is very useful for doing the following. So we've got this one down here. I've discussed it OPie a little bit before. Basically what OPie does is this. It brings up ring menus on your screen. Now you can bind keys directly in OPie, so I could, like this was Control 8, I could just say bind Control 8 to this ring. The problem is that then it unbinds it from Dominos. And the entire point of having the Dominos up for the n52 is so you know where your key bindings are. So what you want to do is not bind directly in OPie, you want to create macros and drop those onto Dominos. And I'll show you how to do that here in a second. So for instance, this particular bar is pet abilities. So call pet, revive pet, eyes of the beast, dismiss pet, everything relevant to your pet. Some of these obviously not so useful in the middle of combat, you know, dismiss pet, tame beast, that kind of thing. These are more for when you're out of combat, so I can feed my pet. This ties in with the other more rings that I've set up before, so I've got again my consumables, my food, healing potions, mana potions, mana drinks, liquor drinks, bandage types, I got end of it, and then a couple of just loose ones that float around here. Buffs, currently have Elixir Wisdom, Elixir Strength, I don't have any other things floating around on this character. And let's see, targeting ring. Let's see, can you see? Yeah, you can see when that lights up on the screen. So that's Control Shift 1. Buffs, consumables, right? Mounts. Hearthstone, Blizzard Bear, ground mounts, fast ground mounts, flying mounts. And you can actually, because you can throw macros in here, this is a macro that pulls up just a random mount. So I can say, just pick one for me. And in particular likes that one. It's also useful for getting off your pet. So tracking, very helpful on a hunter. Instead of having to go all the way up to your mini-map for the tracking ring, you just call it up anywhere you need. Yeah, the one thing they really should have in game, well, it's probably a good thing they don't have it in game, you know, Trek Privy. But then, you know, we are outdoors all the time, so I guess it doesn't matter.